Good morning. Hi, this is Lori with Business Resource Partners. Today I thought I'd show you a little bit about how to customize your QuickBooks desktop. We're using 2018, but the steps we're going to go through are going to be exactly the same whether you're on 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, doesn't really matter. Of course, you shouldn't be on 14 because that one is obsolete, and 15 is going to be obsolete by April of next year. So when you download QuickBooks, this is basically the screen you're going to see. If you're using a small monitor or you don't have two monitors, this might annoy you. Well, you're not going to get the accountant's version, sorry. This is only for, you're going to get the this roadmap, I like to call this. But we have a toolbar across the top, and we have a toolbar down this side. We can minimize this toolbar to give you a little bit more real estate to work with. But then you have to go back and forth to try and see what you've got open. My preference is to eliminate this toolbar and put it back across the top. That's the way old school QuickBooks. What they have done is they're trying to make conversion to QuickBooks Desktop from desktop to online a little less challenging, and by putting the toolbar on the left, that's more similar to the QuickBooks Online. Again, I like the real estate, so first step for getting rid of this. Well, let's do this. You like this on here? We can customize this screen. We can minimize this. Customize shortcuts. We can decide what we want on these shortcuts. If we don't want credit cards, we can delete. I'm not going to add payroll. Delete. Services is kind of QuickBooks Intuit's services if you want that. Support, delete. Make sure whatever you do, you have to tell it okay at the end. So anytime you have a question about what we're doing or why we're doing it, make sure you add that along the way. And Mason is helping me today. He will read any questions that you might have. So one thing I'd like you to notice, at the top of the toolbar, you see File, Edit, View, List, Favorites. You can see that those have an underline. Those things that are underlined are your shortcuts. So if we hit File, we're going to get all of these options, but we can also do Alt-F, and it will give us those same shortcuts. So if you don't have your hand on the mouse, how about Alt-C will give us our company page. Alt-U is our customer list. Control-J U, and then enter gives us our customer list. So shortcuts, view balances. This can show us what the balances are in your respective accounts. Just so you know, this is a sample company. This is nobody's actual. And every version of QuickBooks has this sample company that you want to play around with. You're welcome to do it. You have some favorite windows you can put, some favorite reports, and open windows. But like I said, I want to get rid of this toolbar. So we're going to go View, and we're just going to switch to Top Icon. Now we have all of our icons across the top. And we want to customize this toolbar. Let's get rid of reminder, backup, space. The space is nothing but this little line, and that might be to, if you like to differentiate sections in QuickBooks. We're going to get rid of order checks. We don't really need our user license handy. And again, this is all a matter of personal preference. Income tracker, I don't use. Bill tracker, I don't use. But you may want to, because this gives you a graphic of what's happening in your company. I'm not a graphics kind of girl. I rather see the numbers, but some people are more visual, so that gives you an option. So I like to recommend, especially if you're using more than one QuickBooks company. So in QuickBooks Desktop, you can actually have 2 or 3 companies that you're working on. But I like to recommend, if you're going to do that, let's change the company colors so you can visually see right at the top that you're in a different company. So we're going to say Larry's Landscape and Garden Supply. Actually, we want to make them green, because they do gardening. We're going to go to our desktop view, and we're going to change our file color scheme, and these are built in. We're going to go forest green. You see, we changed the color for Larry. We also want to switch our colored icons across the top. This is just one of the things I like to do. Now we have colored icons. For me, it's easier. Another thing that you really should do is don't save your desktop. QuickBooks is a database program. Every window that you have open, if you save the current desktop, when you reopen it, QuickBooks has to open each one of those windows again, which makes your computer crank it out and make it work a little harder, and it's going to take longer to open up your QuickBooks. So we want to don't save the desktop. Then it will just open up to your home screen from the beginning. Company preferences, are you going to create invoices? This company's just doing sales receipts. Do we want to enter bills? So we have our estimates turned off. Do we want to turn them on? We have sales tax, inventory. These are some, and we can remove this feature icon from the home page. It tells you how. Okay, one window. See how this jumped? Multiple windows. We have more than one window. Again, that's all personal preference. So now, Larry's Landscaping is green. Here's my home screen. Our account balances now are going to be on the right instead of that left toolbar. More things to do with QuickBooks. We can minimize that because we don't need to see it. This will give us our last backup, and we want to back up now. Do we want to use a QuickBooks or Intuit Data Protect? All this is right here. You won't see creating a company file. This is only because we are in our sample. Okay, so now we have Larry's Garden Supply is green. We've got our home page looking like we want it to look. What else can we customize? Let's customize our checking. So right now we've got checking is green. Let's see. We have more than one option. That's savings. And we have savings is blue. So in a real quick, we can see which color. We can see that we're in the savings account because it's a different color than our checking account. Back to checking account. Oh, now this is we're going to write a check. Now we're going to write a check. Very lightly, you'll see it's outlined in green. But if we're going to write something out of the savings, it's outlined in blue. So in order to get these colors, we're going to view change account color under edit, my bad. We want, say we want it to be gray because our checks are gray and it makes us remember that it's the gray checks that we're pulling out of the drawer. As simple as that. And then we go to our check, back to check. From checking, it's now going to have a gray outline. Easy peasy. We can also customize the way our invoices look. So we're going to format, customize our data layout. We want this QuickBooks. Well, let's preview how it's set up to look now. I don't print shipping labels. I don't want to ever see that again. I'm going to tell it don't print that again. So Larry's landscape, this is pretty much a stock invoice that QuickBooks puts in. Many of us don't need purchase order numbers. We don't need terms. Maybe we don't have a rep. We do have freight on board. Maybe we do have a project. Item code, description, price ease, price amount, quantity. Maybe you don't want to show the item code because it's not relevant to your customer. You just want how many widgets you're selling for how much. Do you need something that shows a subtotal with tax? Do you need something that shows how much they've already paid on an invoice if you're doing progress invoicing? So let's look at customizing. So we're going to come up from a main screen, format, customize data layout. So first it says this template is locked. We need to make a copy. All right, so we're going to call it invoice. What do we want to see on the screen? What do we want to see here? I don't want PO numbers anywhere. Now they're gone. Terms is probably good if you're giving terms. If it's due on receipt and you want to just put due on receipt, you can do that, or you can set it up by due date. Now, it's doubled up, so we'll have to fix that. We're not shipping anything. And we're not shipping, so we don't need to know how it's being shipped. And we're not charging freight. So now we have our sales rep. We're going to give them terms with the due date and the project, but it kind of is still funky here, so we'll work on that. We can add another field if you want something specific to your company. Spouse's name. This is only new in 18. Now we want to fix our columns. We can change the order of the columns. It said I don't need an item code. I just want description, quantity. Now we want quantity first or last. I think I want quantity first. Now we have a problem with the class code, don't we? And that. There we go. So it gives us quantity, description, price each, total. We want to add our own little field to the screen and print. There's our other. We need to give it a name. Name it. Okay. This is if you're doing progress billing. I'm not going to worry about that one today. So you want to put a disclaimer. All invoices due upon receipt unless otherwise negotiated. Thank you so much. Your patronage is very appreciated. That's going to be on every invoice. We want balance due. Customer total. If they have more than one job, again, if you're using a special printer, you might have canned invoices, print trailing zeros, minimum number of decibels, all these little things. So now we need to do some layout. And now we can fix everything that's on this page where it needs to be. Plus and minus, so we can see what we've got going on here. Do we want our due date? Whoops. To be with our date. Now here's what I like to do. Copy format, paste format. If you want to change how something looks. The green is if you're using the number 9 window envelopes. This means that these will show up in your window envelope, so you do not have to. I'm sorry, this is the number 10. Number 9 is for checks. Number 10 is for invoices. You can make sure that everything fits in these green squares, so when you put it, fold your envelope, fold your invoice in thirds, it will fit in that number 10, and you don't have to do any labeling. There we go. 5 minutes. Now, just move things where you need them to be. You can also make this smaller. Which will then make that bigger. The quantity doesn't have to be very big, unless you have thousands of dollars going in, and you found accidentally. And so the only other thing you may want to do here, and make this a little shorter, so we have room for our get the idea here. The only thing I want to add here is going to be my logo. And basic customization is use a logo. So, I'm just going to find a picture. Here. Wherever you're storing your pictures, We'll use post office. And there it shows up. Back on the customization page, you can. All right, so there's some basic customizations that you can do for your QuickBooks. Got a couple minutes for questions if anybody has anything.
We do have one question from Stephanie Rubin. Are there different invoice layout templates available to install, or is there just the standard QuickBooks layout available?
There are many different options, and in your templates they give you a whole bunch here, and then there are some that you can download. You see download templates right there from the web. From the web, you can pull up some that people have created. And let's see, there's some invoice. Blue email franchise, these are some people have donated. Oh, this one's kind of cute. There's our email drill shipping. So you want to play with one of these guys? There you go. I like attorney's invoices. I like those. Modern maroon. So yeah, you have plenty of options. You're not stuck with what QuickBooks gives you in the can. Anybody else? So if you need more customization, you need a little more time, maybe you want to really tweak this down to make it just specific for you, give us a call. One thing that we can do in the 18 version that some of the other ones cannot do is we can set this up for multiple monitors.
We have another question from Savannah. Are you able to change the name of the invoice copy?
You are. In that customization, we'll go to customize data layout. And right here, where it says default title, so we don't want it to say invoice, we want it to say
Bill of sale.
Bill of sale. And now it's changed here. We can actually even change the color and the font on that. So if we go, okay, whoops, customize, layout designer. There we go. So let's say we want to give this properties. We want to change the color. We want to change the font. Let's see. We're going to go Houdini 12 maroon. Okay. Okay. And okay. There we go. That's active enough. But absolutely, it can be changed to whatever you want it to be. All right, like I said, Business Resource Partners, we are your resource for your business. Today we're talking about customizing QuickBooks Desktop. Any other things that you need help? There are many other things that we can do to tweak this down so it is your personal version of QuickBooks. Remember, if you have more than one person signing in, everyone's desktop is going to be specific to them. We always recommend all users have their own login, so their login can make their desktop look the way they're most comfortable, and then that gives you an audit trail. Thank you so very much. We appreciate you tuning in, and we will see you next week. Oh no, next week we are going to take a sabbatical because it is the day before Thanksgiving, and we're only here for half a day. We'll be gone Thursday and Friday, and we hope you have a very nice Thanksgiving. Give thanks, and God bless.